The last class we have seen about your how to work with your read statement. We have seen about the inline declaration, so we have seen only about the theory about your read statement inline declarations, and we have seen about the new syntaxes for read statement for your read statement. So now, as I already told you, when you are working with the new syntax for your read statement, it will always uses the linear search. It will not use your binary search. It will use your linear search. If you want to use either the binary search or hashed algorithm, hashed algorithm, then you have to go ahead and create your types declaration the regular way, I would say. Then we need to create in the regular way. In our regular way, how we are creating earlier, we have to go ahead and do that one. Okay, so then the binary search as well as your hashed algorithm will go ahead and work. So now let's see how you are going to do that one. So now let me go ahead and take the same thing. Let me go ahead and take the same thing. Now, if you want to read the record, so now let's see. The first thing is your read statement. So now, so if you want, so I'm just going to showcase you with your inline declarations. Inline declarations. So how to work with your inline declarations is what we are going to see. So now read statement. So what is the syntax? So the read table. What is my table? GT underscore Mara into data of. So you will be just going to give this as data of GS underscore Mara. If you want using index, and let's say if you want to do via my fifth record. So index 5, I'm just going to calculate my index 5. Now I'll be just going to say if psi sub RC is equal to 0, then we will be going to write. I'll be just going to say this as my record form. Record form. Else we'll be just going to say as dash write record not found. Not found. So and then end if. End if. So now I'll be just yeah, that's it. Now this is how you will be going to write in case if you want to check for your index. Now let me just check it and let me get activate this my program. Now let me put a breakpoint. See, in your Eclipse, if you want to go ahead and keep any breakpoint, you just before this line, just click a double click. It will go ahead and apply your breakpoint. So it can be your static breakpoint and it will work as also your external breakpoint. You don't have two different breakpoints in Eclipse, but you will be seeing like a blue color, a green color, and a gray color, blue color, and green color. What is those differences? I'll be going to let you know at a later point of time. Okay, so don't worry about it. So, but if you want to learn on your own, just check Eclipse how to debug a program in your Eclipse and what are the different types of breakpoints in Eclipse plus SAP ABAP. You will be getting to know that. Okay, so the blue is nothing but the gray is nothing but inactive breakpoint. So you have inactivate, I mean, you have created that breakpoint and you just leave it aside. You just leave it aside. So then it will go ahead and change that to into your gray. So, but blue and green are something different. So we will be going to let you know at a later point of time what is the difference between your blue and green. Now, now you can also ask me a question if if I'm going to get a payload from the third party system. Third party system, it has a different user. How to debug that payload? How to debug that payload, that external payload. So as you know in your SAP ABAP, so when I go to my SAP ABAP, now let me go here to SE38 program and then let me open any of my program. So I'm just going to open one sample other program. So where if you want to debug the external, what you will be going to do, utilities, settings, and in the debugging, you will be just providing the username. By default, what is your user, it will be just popping up. But if you want to execute the third party or the non-SAP thing, so for every non-SAP, you will be, in order to connect to SAP, we will be having a user ID and a password. We'll be having a user ID and a password. One second. Okay. So for everything, you will be having a user ID and a password. So that external username, you have to provide it over here. So then you can able to debug your external in a same way. If you want to do it in your Eclipse, so in that cases, you will be just going to Windows preferences and just go to your ABAP development and then click on debug and configure the project settings. Configure your project settings. So which system you want to configure that one, you have to just select that system and click on OK. Now here you can just provide your username. So if you want to see, enables the debugging for external request for the specific user. This include HTTP and RFC request. So you can just go ahead and enable that one either in your advanced settings. So if you want to do for these things, allow debugging for tools request and show data, aging temperature and everything. And if you want to debug your AMDP, so how you need to go ahead and debug your AMDP, so that also you can just go ahead and enable that one. So now, as of now, I'm just going to select for my particular user. But if you want to select your external user, you just need to come here. But we don't have any differences between your external breakpoint as well as your normal breakpoint in your Eclipse based upon the user you provided in your Eclipse settings. So that it will go ahead and activate for that one. It will go ahead and activate. Now, let me activate this one. And now let me click on execute. It will open your Eclipse debugger. It will open your Eclipse debugger. See this? So now it will change the profile. Previously, we are into ABAP profile and this is your debug profile. See this, a bug type it will be there. So that's called as your debug profile. Automatically it will go ahead and change that one. And you will be going to see over here what is the program you're going to work. So the programs are, what is the program you're working, you can able to see over here. And then here is a place where you can go ahead and add your variables, whatever the variables. Let's say if I want to add any variable, just click on that enter variable, Sai Sabasi. Already we have that variable, so I'm just going to maintain that. So now, as we have the data over here, see, globals, you got your globals data automatically. GT underscore Mara and GS underscore Mara. So how many records are there? So if I double click on this, you can able to see here ABAP internal table or how many records you have. You can able to see all those records over here, all those records over here. And if you want to maintain any filter also, you can just go ahead and maintain the filter value over here too. You can just go ahead and maintain the filter pattern over here too. And then see, reset your table configuration, or you want to export to a file, you can just export that to your output file. You can just export that to your output file. So these are also the things that you have in your in your things, sorry, in your debugging, in your debugging. Now if you want to move, if you want to move your cursor from one line to another line, the same thing here also we will be going to follow the same thing. F5, F6, F7 and F8. F8. So where are those options? So here are those options: F5, F6, F7 and F8 and F8. So here also you will be having your debugging options. So whatever you want, you will be just going to showcase you that one. Okay. So these are some of the things. Now, the important thing is, so let's say you find out your error. Where is your error? You can able to edit your code. You can able to edit your code. That's the advantage when you go ahead and work with your Eclipse. When you go ahead and work with your Eclipse, that's the main advantage. Okay, so you can just go ahead and debug the, you can just go ahead and write down and then activate it, but you can't able to proceed now onwards. See, it will directly come to your, it has removed that debugging. So see, if I just say click on F5, nothing is there, nothing is there, nothing is there. But usually it should not work. But usually when you are trying to do and when you are activating it, we usually go ahead and re-execute that program. So now, see here, still you are in your debugging profile only. You need to change that to manually to your ABAP stack. Then only it will go ahead and change that to your ABAP programming. So that's one advantage. Now, so this is how the basic, some of the things that you have in your SAP, in your Eclipse. There are so many other things that you have. You will be getting to know that in your upcoming sessions. What are the different things and what are the different configurations that you can able to do it on your Eclipse, that you will be going to know in your upcoming sessions. Okay, so now I'll just going to activate this one. Now, now, how can you do this one? So as I already told you, you just need to remember the ground rule like here, LHS is equal to your RHS. So this side, so LHS side as well as your RHS side. So LHS. So in the LHS, we will maintain, we will declare what we want to get. We'll declare what we want to get. On the right hand side, we will maintain, we will write the logic to fetch that value. So yesterday I have discussed, but I'm just giving you a heads up of this. So now I'm just going to tell you how to work with your index. How to work with your index. So left hand side. So as I have this variable, if there is a variable that you have, you can just utilize that variable. So if you have the variable, if you have the variable, we we can use that variable. We can use that variable, else we can declare. So how to declare this? Simple. Data of. We'll be just going to mention it as data of, and then gs underscore mara1 is equal to, I'll be just going to say, so now you need to provide your operator. So what you are going to do it. So whether you're going to fetch the data, or whether you're going to add the data, or whether you're going to do a condition wise data, or whether you're going to use a switch data, or whether you're going to use your reduce. So reduce. So what is that? So what you are doing, so what operator or what action you want to perform. So I want to fetch the data, you need to use value. So either you can pass your structure, so or you can pass your hash. When you're providing your hash, it will just go ahead and fetch from the structure whatever the table you are going to provide internally. Based upon internal values, it will go ahead and fetch your left hand side value automatically. If there is something, so let's say if you're going to use something called as type reference to data, so type reference to data, or type type data. So generic. So in case of your generic, so then in those scenarios, you just need to provide here instead of hash, you just need to go ahead and replace with your either with your work area or with your variable, whatever the field you want to derive, table hyphen field name or data element or your table type. So you can just provide, if it is a generic, then you can just provide the hash has to be has to be replaced replaced with either data element or domain or your table hyphen field or predefined type. You can also provide your predefined type, or you can able to provide your structure hyphen your field, or you can able to provide your structure, or you can able to provide your table type. You can just provide whatever you want. So whatever you want, you can just provide that. Based upon that, if you provide this as a structure, it will go ahead and create it as a structure. If you provide it as table type, it will create this as your internal table. So that's why we should always use to go ahead and create your table types only in your real time. We should never ever use your type standard table of or type sorted table of or typed hash table of. So internal tables. So we have to go ahead and use your table types only. Okay, remember that one. So now here I'm just going to provide my internal table. What is my internal table? GT underscore Mara. And then you just need to provide your square brackets. You just need to provide your square brackets and what you're going to fetch. So you are going to provide your index. So that's it, index 5. So let's say I'm just going to take this as 999. So I don't have those many 999 records. I know it. So that's why I'm just going to fetch the 999 records. Now, if I go ahead and say with my psi sabasi is equal to 0, I just want to showcase you this one, the same thing. So I'll always tell you that you will be not able to get with the help of your size RC. Now Control F3. I'm just going to activate this one. So if you want to remove this breakpoint, just double click on this. It will automatically gets removed. And if you want to keep another breakpoint, you'll just go ahead and keep your breakpoint. Now, in this case, as 999 index record is not available, so the system will go for a runtime error. So yesterday I has told you the system will go for a runtime error. So what is the error? So cx underscore sy underscore itab underscore not found line not found. So this is the error you will be going to get it when you are going to work with your if there is no data, or if the system is unable to fetch the data based upon your condition. So my condition is 999. So I'll just showcase you that one. So I'm just going to activate this one. So now let me click on execute F8. See, it is going that one. See, the line is not contained in the table. Whatever the line you want to fetch, it is not available. So usually what we will be doing, we will be just going to save it as try, and then we will be going to say this as catch cx underscore sy underscore itab line not found. Itab line not found, and then I'll be just going to mention this as your end try. I'll be just going to mention this as my end try. Now control F2 as well as my control F3. So now see here, I'm just going to activate this one. So now when I activated this one, so now let me click on F8. Okay, see, still you didn't get the data. If I just go ahead and check this, my GS underscore Mara1 doesn't have any data, but still what is my size about value it is showing? It is showing it as 0. As I already told you in your yesterday's class, so you should not depend upon your size about going forward. When you're going to use your new syntaxes, you should not depend upon your size RC. You should always depend upon your variable. You should always depend upon your variable. So as I told you in your last class also, so we can't able to use this try catch at every place. At any places, at some places we can't able to use your try catches. So in order to avoid this try catch, what SAP has provided, SAP has came up with a new thing called as, after this you just need to go ahead and place a value called as your optional. After this you just need to go ahead and place your value, then you don't need to write down your try as well as your catch. Now shift F1, control F2 as well as my control F3. So now when I go ahead and just say click on F8, so now see this. Here also is the same thing. Size abas is not equal to. Here also you didn't find out the data. So see, I have not used the try catch, but I have used the optional. It is not going for your runtime error. To avoid this runtime error, we have to always use your optional. You have to always use your optional. So now you if you write, if you depends upon your size of RC, instead of record not found, it will always display this as your record found. It will always display this as your record found. That's the error you have. You will always get it when you're working with your size of RC. So you should not work on that. So now let me go ahead and showcase you that. So now let me close this one and it will showcase you record found and record found. So what you need to do, you just need to say, instead of size C, you just need to say if GS underscore Mara 1 is not initial. So this is the one you have to go ahead and check this. So control F3. I'm just going to activate this one. Okay. So this is the one you have to always work on this. Okay. So now I'm just going to activate this one. So now you can able to get your exact data. So this is your keyword based upon your index. Now the next thing, read table, read table based on specific conditions. Read table based on your specific conditions. So based upon my specific conditions, I want to go ahead and read. So what is the syntax you will be writing? Read table, read table gt underscore mara into so I'll be just going to use the same value gs underscore mara. If you are utilizing the same variable, it will be always be your same old syntax. It will be always be your same old syntax. What I will do before that, I'll be just going to clear gs underscore your mara. So gs underscore your mara, I'm just going to clearing this. So read table gs underscore mara, and then I'll be just sorry, with the key. What is the key you want? matnr is equal to or ersda is equal to let me go here. So based upon if you are working on your ERSDA, you have to change that to your ERSDA order by. Order by has to be changed to your ERSDA. So let me go ahead and work with your material only. So I'll be just go ahead and finding out my material. So slash OSE16N. I'll be just going to say this as Mara, and I'll just click on number of entries. 634 are there. I'll just remove this one and I'll just say click on F8. Okay, so I just want to get my 32 material number. I just want to click on my 32 material number. You always need to provide your internal conversion value. You always need to provide your internal conversion value. So I'm just going to provide my internal conversion value. Internal conversion value is what I'm going to provide, and I'll be going to say this as my binary search. So because you already used your sorting with the help of your order by, you have already sorted the record, and then what you will be doing, if here you will be just going to write down if size abar c is equal to 0, the same thing. So when you are working with your read statement, you can depends upon your size abar c. When you are working with your new syntaxes, you always depends upon your variable. You always need to depends upon your variable. So this is how you will be just going to write it down. You will be just going to write it down. Now, one more thing I just want to tell you. So in HANA, the material size has been increased to 40 characters. If you go ahead and check your material, if I go ahead and check my material data element, it will be showing you as your 40 characters. So, but when you go ahead and calculate the internal conversion, so if I just go ahead and calculate the internal conversion, it will be your 18 characters only. If I go here and check this, so see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 characters only, the internal conversion. So you SAP has provided you an option whether you want to use your 40 characters or whether you want to use your 18 characters. So there is a new data element. there is a new data element that has been introduced, which is nothing but your mat and 18. So if I'm not wrong, that's the one. So let me go ahead and showcase you that one. So now let me go to /OSE11. So now in the data type, I'll be just going to say mat 18, and then I'll just going to click on F4 search for data elements. You can just get here um, hmm, Matner 18. So this is the one. So which is of your 18 characters. So if I just go here to your domain, you have a separate routine. So you have a separate routine. But now if I go here to SE11 and just check for your domain, Matner, Matner. So this is having a mat n1 which is 40 characters, and this is having a mat n5 a 18 characters. So which one you want to use? So if you want to go ahead and create a material from SAP, so you have to always, or else if you want to go ahead and read the data, and if you want to do your conversion, let's say you want to convert, you need to convert the data. Maybe if you're going to get the data in the external format from your third party system and you want to convert that to your internal format, if you're going to use your Matner domain, it will just go ahead and convert internally to a 40 characters. So you should need to know whether we are using 40 characters length or whether you are going to use your 18 characters. For all the persons who are working from ECC to S4 HANA upgrade, they will always use the 18 character mode only. Remember that. They always use your 18 character mode only. But whoever is going to work with newly, means from a different database to they are going to switch to SAP, they will always think whether you have to use 40 characters or whether you have to use 18 characters. Okay. So that's one thing you need to remember. Okay. So now see this. So this is the one. Now in the new syntax, how you're going to work from the LHS side, you just need to provide your variable. I'm just going to use my clear gs underscore mara 1. I'm just going to use that one. Now you just need to provide. So as I have my variable available, so I'm not going to write my inline declaration. Inline declaration I'm not going to write now. So I'll be just going to say value hash, and then I'll be providing my variable gt underscore your mara gt underscore your Mara, and then you will just provide this as the field name. MATNR is equal to whatever the condition you want. You will be just providing that condition. And after this, you will be just going to write down this as your optional. Optional. So that's it. Then you just need to always depends upon your variable, whether you found your data or not. So this is how you have to go ahead and check. This is how you have to go ahead and check for a particular condition. Based upon your particular condition, if you want to fetch the data. Okay. Any questions in this before we go ahead? Any questions? Clear?
Clear.
Yeah. So now I'm just going to activate this one. So this is how. Okay, so I already, you can know it, so it will always show it as record found. That's why I'm not executing it. So now let's see the third read statement. What is the third read statement? If I want to fetch, if we want to fetch only one single field from the work area. Field from the work area, from your work area. So how you're going to fetch that one? So or else from your internal table, sorry, from your internal table based on the conditions or based on the index, based on the index. So how you will be going to fetch that one? This is what we are going to see right now. So let's see the older style. Older. So now if you want, so let's say for example, I want my creation date. I want to know my creation date for the material, for the material 32. So for the material 32, I want to know when it has been created from the internal table. From the internal table, I want to know that. So then how you will be writing it? So in your older style, you'll be just going to write, or you want to display the creation date for the material 32 for the internal table. How you will be writing it? So you'll be just going to write. So before that, I'll be just going to say clear gs underscore mara. I'm just going to use the same thing. Now read table, read table. I'll be just going to say gt underscore mara. Let me copy this one. Binary search, binary search. I'll just going to copy the same thing. So now if size bar c is equal to 0, you also just copy the same thing. So if size bar is equal to 0, what you will be writing it? Write gs underscore mara hyphen your ersda. ERSDA. So this is how you will be writing it. You have to use your specific variable. You have to go ahead and provide it to your work area, and you need to write. You need to get the field from that work area. So now, when you want to go ahead and choose your new syntax, the same thing. So I'll be just going to copy the same thing. I'll be just going to copy the same thing. Now here, instead of this one, I'll write down this one. Sorry, my bad. So what is the variable? Sorry, my bad. So you want ERSDA. So now I'll be just going to say data. I want only that variable ERSDA. ERSDA is equal to value hash. And then what is my internal table? GT underscore Mara hyphen MATNR material based upon your conditions you want. So now you will be just providing your material. You will be just going to provide your material, and you just provide this as hyphen. And what is the field you want? I want my ERSDA. So it will create a line type of this condition. From this line type, what is the, see, when you are going to use a read table, it will always read only one single record. So based upon these conditions also, based upon these conditions also, it will get only one single record, and then on that you want, you want that ERSTA. You want that ERSTA. So you will be going to get that, and then you will be just providing this as your optional. Optional. That's it. You're done. Now I'll be just going to say, so if GV underscore ERSDA is not initial, and then end if. So you will be just going to write, uh, right. So I'll be just going to say GV underscore ERSDA, and then else record not found. I'm just going to mentioning like this. Okay, so this is how you will be just going to write down your query. And there is one more thing. So without creating of your internal table. So sorry. So one second. Okay. So now you are declaring your variable also, but I want to write down, I want to write directly. So that means you can just use that in your direct write statement also, right? And you can just provide this without utilizing of your variable. You just want to display that value. See this? So that's the main advantage with your new syntaxes. Now Shift F1, Control F2 as well as my Control F3. See, I just go ahead and provide that directly. I have just provide that directly to the command. So wherever the I mean wherever the places you want, you can directly use that in new syntaxes. You can directly use that without declaring any variables or without declaring any work areas or whether without declaring any internal tables. This will also applicable function modules for your function modules as well as your class methods too. So if you have any importing parameters, so you want to fill that importing parameters. Let's say there is a table or let's say there is a structure. So in case of your structure, what you will be writing, you will go ahead and declare the structure and you will be providing the values and that values you will be providing that to your function module. But from now onwards, you don't need to do that one. You can directly assign that value to your function module without declaring. So we are utilizing the SAP memory. We are not utilizing your ABAP memory. So you have to reduce the ABAP memory as how much you can. As how much you can just go ahead and reduce that one. So now just let me activate this one. I'll be just going to keep a breakpoint. I'll be just going to keep a breakpoint over here. Let me click on execute. So I'm just going to F8. It will just go to your next breakpoint. See, my variable has been created. My variable has been created and now F5. See how it got been created based upon the value what you have, what you are going to fetch. So that data type or that data type will be just added to this inline, that data type. So that's why it is showing this as your date. Now F5, it will just go ahead and displaying that date for me. I'm just going to write down over here and in the same way I'm directly writing down. The output will be the same. The output will be the same. So without declaring also you can just go ahead and write down your code. See the last statement. I have not declared it. I have not declared it. I can use that one. I can use that one. That's the important. That's the advantage of your new syntaxes. That's one advantage. You'll be seeing like this so many advantages with the help of your new syntaxes, and even the code will also gets reduced when you're going ahead with your new syntaxes. For example, I'll just showcase you one example. So before that, let me show you the last read syntax and then I'll be showing you with the example. So let me show you the last read syntax. What is that? If I want to check the data is available or not, available or not. So available or not, I want to check that one. How can you check it? So if you want to check that, how you will be writing it? So you will be just going to, you will be just using the same pretty old syntax in case of this one. In case of this one, you will be pretty using the pretty old syntax. If the data is available or not, so if the data is available or not, then you will be writing the logic record found, and if not, the record not found, you will be just providing that logic. So this is what you will be doing in case whether the data is available or not also in your old syntax, but in your new syntax. But what, see here, you're just checking the data. You're not going to utilize this variable at any given point. At any given point, you're not going to utilize. You're not going to utilize. You just want to check whether the data is there or not. Why I need to do that one? So SAP has came up with a new syntax called as your line underscore exists. Line underscore exists. It will check. It will just check the data is available. Available. It will just check if the data is available or not. That's it. It won't move the data to your work area or anything. How you will be writing it? If line underscore exists of, line underscore exists of, the same thing. You'll be just going to provide this one. Here you don't need to use your optional. Line underscore exists is, then I'll be just going to say record found, and or else I'll be just going to say it as record not found. So then control F2 as well as my control F3. I'm just going to activate. See this, it will just check. So it is not going to pass to any work area or any variable. It is not going to pass any work area or any variable. So it will just check that one. That's the advantage. So now control F3, let me keep a breakpoint over here. So now F8, F8, and then F8, it will just going to move this one. Now this data contains in your in your internal table, you can able to check this one. So 29. Yeah, 32, you have your data, and then F5, it will just go internally. That record has been found. That record has been found. So that's it. So usually where you will be using it, this command majorly when you are working with your BAPI. So in your BAPI, you will be writing it. You'll be just checking on your return. BAPI return or return values, return internal table. For every BAPI, you will be having a return where it will store all your errors, warnings, and success messages. So I just want to check whether the table contains your whether the table contains your error or warnings error. So if there is an error, I want to use BAPI uh, BAPI rollback, BAPI transaction rollback, or if there is no error, then you will be going to use BAPI transaction commit. BAPI transaction commit. So in these places, so usually what you will check, if read table or loop at internal table into work area where it is error. If it is error, then it will go ahead and check this as BAPI transaction commit. Or if you don't have any error, then sorry, if it is error, then you will be using BAPI transaction rollback. If you don't have any error, you will be going to use BAPI transaction commit, right? So those type of scenarios where you will be declaring your work area, but in those cases you don't need to use your work area. You can just go ahead and use your line underscore exits, line underscore exits. Okay, so that's one place where you will be using your line underscore exits. Not only this, I mean, I'm just going to give you one good real-time example where you can able to use this one. Okay. See, I have told you. So now when I just, okay, so this is the place where you will be going to use your line underscore exists. By this, we have covered all the new read statement syntaxes. By this, we have covered all the new read statement syntaxes. Any questions in this before we go ahead and showcase you how you will be writing the new style of your program in your real time? How you will be writing it? Any questions? Okay,
No, Ram.
I'll be yeah, I'll be considering it as no questions. So now, if you want to check any object, the syntax is Control plus Shift plus A. So I'm just going to say Z star 8 a.m. star your for loop. So for loop, I'm just going to say this as AOH for loop program. See this. I'm just going to I just changed this the loop and end loop with your new syntaxes where I have used my concatenations, where I have been checked whether the data is available, condition hash, if conditions, and then this is a let operator where we will be using for your read statements. So this is how you have to go ahead and use with your this thing. And even not only this, I have used my class and method to get some text. If you want to call any function module, everything we will be just covered with one single statement. If I just go ahead and just say breakpoint and just say click on F8, F8 this program. So now with one click on F5, see, I'm just clicking on one F5, it will done. Okay, I think there is mm, okay. Something has happened. I don't have any breakpoint also. Why it is going to this? Okay, my bad. Okay, so but usually with one click on, it has to go here and see this. You are going to call your You are going to call your you are going to call your function. You are just going to call your data with one single statement. See, previously if you want to write loop at internal table into work area and read statement and providing this, at the last you will use to call your call function module, call function, and whatever the written parameters you will be getting, that part, that value you will be providing to your text, and then you will be going to use your append work area to your internal table. All those things has been gone with the help of one single step, with the help of your one single step. So if you want to convert the date based upon your user defined date, so based upon the user profile settings, I want to convert that date. I'm asking system to convert that. I'm asking system to convert that one also. See, everything, everything I'm asking. So like this, you have some inbuilt functions that we have available. So you have to go ahead and use that inbuilt function. You have to go ahead and use that inbuilt functions, and then you have to go ahead and write down your ABAP code. So what are the different inbuilt functions that we have available on your application layer? What are the inbuilt functions that we have available on your database layer? On your database layer, which will, so when you are saying that as your database layer, that is nothing but your CDS views. On your CDS views, what are the built-in functions that we have? So here we will be calling them as your new syntaxes, and there we will be calling them as your built-in functions. What are those new functions? Okay, so those are the things that which we will be going to check in your upcoming sessions. As I know tomorrow is a festival, but still you have your class from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So because Monday I need to travel back, so that's why I'm just going to take the class on tomorrow, and not only this. To compensate for your Monday, you will be having a class on next Saturday. You will be having a class on next Saturday, and then November 1st is a holiday for you. November 1st is a holiday for you on account of Deepavali. Diwali celebrations November 1st. So we are going to give you a holiday. Okay. So that's it. So guys,
So
if you are
tomorrow
in,
7 p.m. You mean 7 a.m. your time,
yeah,
right?
7 a.m. Yes, same time. Timings will
Same
never
time.
get changed.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But only if I have cancelled the session in between these days, because yesterday
Okay.
I have cancelled it, so I'm going to
Right.
compensate on Friday, on Saturday.
Okay.
So if so, and then Monday also I'm cancelling the session because I need to travel back. So that session will be compensated on 12th.
Okay.
But for festivals, we'll give you holiday. I know tomorrow is a festival, but still I'm taking because of Thursday's Mr. session. I'm going to take it on tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. So that's all for today. Before I signing off, any other questions? And guys, please do register your course. Tomorrow will be your last day. So for registrations, and whoever got registered, you will be getting a new link by Monday evening. So you need to join that link going forward. You have to join to that link going forward. Okay. So that's it. So we'll meet you tomorrow at the same time and we'll continue with our session. So yesterday's class, I mean day before yesterday's class and today's class recordings will be provided by afternoon 2 p.m. IST timings. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So we'll meet you tomorrow at the same time and we'll continue with our session. Thank you. Thank you all.